Hi, so I'm John, and I'm a paleontologist. So not only does that mean I'm lost in a room full of physicists, but it means I study fossils for a living.
On the chin. That's it.
And fossils are the remains of ancient life forms, not aliens, but actual real animals who lived once in the Earth. And these include things such as dinosaurs, mammoths, trilobites, and every other thing you haven't heard of. But I want to talk to you about my one-sided relationship with a particular fossil called Eric. Provide a bit of context. If I was driving a pimped-out DeLorean and generated 1.21 gigawatts of energy, this is where I'll be taking you, to the age of reptiles, somewhere between 250 and 65 million years ago. This is commonly referred to as the age of dinosaurs as well, because this is when the dinosaurs once lived. But it's age of reptiles because a lot of different reptiles lived at time during this one point. I'm going to briefly introduce you where this fossil comes from. So let's play it fair again. Who's that reptile? It's Plesiosaur. Plesiosaur. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? Yes, it's showing my age. But also, what is a plesiosaur? It's a dinosaur, right? Like, it lived at the same time. So let's just go through some traits. Is a plesiosaur a dinosaur? Well, no. If you have young kids, or some kids in the family, and to tell you this fact, yeah, they would be pretty much your favorite for the rest of the day. Because they're different groups of animals entirely. Dinosaurs are nothing more than glorified birds, because birds evolved from dinosaurs. So the chicken parma you're having tonight, that's nothing more than a T-Rex. Oh. Sorry. Is a plesiosaur a type of pterosaur? Well, it lived at the same time and it's got saur in the name. Surely it's going to make sense, right? Well, no. Pterosaur is another group of reptiles that lived throughout the age of the dinosaurs. Is plesiosaur a type of marine reptile? Well, yes. Plesiosaur is a type of marine reptile. It's the common term to describe a lot of independently evolved reptiles that lived in the water at the time of the dinosaurs. They shared no ancestry to dinosaurs whatsoever. So that's the one thing I'd like to take you away from today. Plesiosaurs are not dinosaurs. But the one thing they do have in common with this lot is that they got absolutely roasted by a giant rock from outer space. This led to the KT extinction event that ultimately wiped out all their non-naming dinosaurs. Oh. So I'd like to talk to you about one particular fossil named Eric. This is absolutely a beautiful fossil that we have out at the Australian Museum on public display, so I do recommend you check it out. It's commonly cited as the most opalised, complete opalised vertebrate fossil we have, 2.5 meters long, from PitP23 in 1987. It is an absolutely beautiful fossil. It's got three things going for it. It's near complete. Everything you see on screen here is from one individual, so there are no breaks in the matching, all from one individual. It's completely rare, because if you were to walk into a painting collection, or bits and bobs and pieces, that's all it is. It has also got all opalised. Australia is one of the few places on the planet where we get opalised vertebrate remains. Opalised fossils are just very rare in general. So Australia is a fantastic place to study these opalised vertebrate remains. Additionally, Eric has stomach contents in them, and they give an indicator of what the animal ate prior to its death. And that's even rarer itself. So Eric's just a fantastic piece of fossil history, almost unmatched internationally. So in the theme of physics, I'd like to give you a brief history on Eric. Once it was dug out by Opalised, it was sold to a businessman. That businessman then approached a bloke named Paul Willis, whose job was to prepare Eric out of the rock, inch by inch. This took Paul over 400 hours to complete. And by the time he was done, that's how we knew we were dealing with Eric. But unfortunately, by the time Eric was complete, the businessman lost a lot of money and was forced to sell Eric. And this is really bad for paleontology. It means we have to sell Eric and ultimately turn it into jewelry. Hearing this, Quantum, an old science show, I have no idea, they launched a fundraiser to get a lot of donations from the Australian public to keep Eric outside of private hands and inside Australia. Thankfully, through various donations such as school groups, Cooper, the Australian Hat Company, and others, generated a butt ton of money to keep Eric in Australia outside of private hands. where they were subsequently housed at the Australian Museum, currently on display in the West Aquilon Gallery. So, do recommend it. In fact, this unique fossil acquisition actually inspired the researchers to have this species atlas that reflect this. So, Umanosaurus thermocilius, that's the right, like even I can't pronounce it, it roughly translates to the people's sea dragon from PitP23. There's such a beautiful, wholesome story about how the science can get general public can get behind Australian scientists. However, I think Paul Willis, who prepared Eric, informally named Eric after the hit song from Monty Python, Eric the Half a Bee. I don't think that's his best work yet. I truly think he should have named it from Brian, from Monty Python's Life of Brian, because that's a far better movie. But also, that way we can all unapologetically say, he's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy! Let's back on Gary, come on. But how do we tell the diet of a dead animal? Sometimes we just get stupidly lucky. No other way to put it. We find some of the contents fossilized in these animals, and then that's how we can directly tell what these animals ate. And as I mentioned earlier, Eric has these. These little arrows, they point to isolated fish bones. And they only be tentatively looked at on the exterior surface. I wanted to put them into a beautiful CT scanner to see if there's any of the insect component without destroying the sample. What do you know? I found more fish birds after painstaking going through mountains of CT data. So on the left is the whole complete thing, and on the right is additional isolated fish birds I found. And with beautiful 3D data comes beautiful illustrations.
You need to click on that.
So essentially, after that beautiful illustration, it's really cool just to look at this diet of this unique animal and provide a new innovation to look at how these fossils once lived. I'm a big emphasis of being passionate about trying to get behind science communication, get it done right, especially really complex science, and being able to communicate to members of the public. So I would really love to thank the Cosmos for taking the time, energy, and commitment to really summarizing my entire year's worth of work in a single sentence. Really, it's beautiful. Thank you for your time.